Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Health Reform 2.0. My name is Tim Henning, and you're listening to HealthyBytes, our podcast of quick points for fast learners. I'm joined today by my partner, Tom Locher. How are you today, Tom?
Pretty good, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And just a reminder, we're recording this on March 15th, 2018. And in March 15th, 44 BC, we all know what happened, right?
I'm not 100% sure what happened in 44 BC. What happened?
The Ides of March.
That's true. Beware the Ides of March.
Yeah, so whatever you do today, don't go near the Temple of Pompeii. It would not work very well at all. So,
and don't say hello to Brutus either, huh?
No, don't say any of it. So anyway, that just came to me today. That was the Ides of March. So in the last couple of days, Tom and I have seen a series of articles, as we always do, that reiterate for us how prevalent and impactful one of the many myths we have about our healthcare system or non-system. We all seem to have the shared belief that modern medicine has cures for anything and everything. The doctors can push a few buttons, wave a magic wand, and they'll have a reliable diagnosis and understand exactly what's wrong and how to fix it. And when it doesn't work, of course, we need to fault the doctor, the hospital, the government, insurer, drug company, or whatever. It's just human nature, and we see it more and more. I bring up an article that we just went over here a couple days ago. It had to do with a mother in the UK who lost 2 arms, fingers, and legs after doctors at this hospital in the UK failed to diagnose a life-threatening disease. The woman is now suing the doctors in the hospital because they did not find that she was suffering from sepsis after she suffered a miscarriage. After which she went to the hospital suffering from heavy bleeding and stomach cramps. The doctors found that she had an ectopic pregnancy. They performed surgery, but shortly after she suffered blood loss to her limbs, causing gangrene and thus the amputations. So, Tom, you and I have been over this article a few times. What's your thoughts and what do you say about this?
Well, Tim, obviously, I think the first thing we want to say is that it's a horrible thing for this to happen to anybody, but it isn't as rare an occurrence as we seem to think it is. This specific occurrence around the ectopic pregnancy may be more rare, but people are losing limbs as a result of infection and hospitals and doctors' inability to treat it. It illustrates the point to us, I think, that medicine is still much more of an art than it is a science. There's no real cookie-cutter solutions in healthcare as much as we wish there were. Many of the symptoms that are exhibited around diseases have multiple causes. And many of the symptoms that a disease may exhibit can often be masked by other symptoms from other problems that we may have at the same time. This is probably what was happening in the case here with the doctors. You have to remember that only 20 to 25% of the things that doctors do have a real best practice basis, a best practice scientific set of solutions behind it. And diagnosis as it exists today is typically only correct about 50% of the time. So we need to remember these facts and remember this Roman law principle we've all heard of caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. Doctors often do everything they can, and they still fall far short of what has become our own unreasonable expectations of what our healthcare system we think can deliver.
Yes, and we see this a lot, and I think you got to remember these points when you seek care, because seeking care is a very dangerous thing. We're going to talk about that in a future episode. But we need to understand that doctors have limitations. They're human. There's many different things that go into these diagnoses, and I think they try to do a great job, and they're probably successful many, many times. But when things do go wrong, and medicine purely is more the art than the science, we need to ask ourselves if crucifying the doctor in the hospital is really what is just and best. If you'd like to learn more about this subject and many others, please subscribe to our new Health Reform 2.0 podcast, now available on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and many other podcast providers in the next few days. This topic is being covered in a few of our other recent episodes. Also remember, these podcasts are available on YouTube video channel, Health Reform 2.0, and it has additional material attached to it. Make sure you check them out as well. We hope you will join us in our journey to develop a more effective healthcare system that provides Americans what she needs and what we want. Thank you.